Can you guys hear me now? Is my sound off? I'm sorry. I'm so invested in the chat. Someone give me a like if they can hear what I'm saying at all. There's 4 of you watching. Because my sound should be, yeah, it should be on now. Okay, it's on now. Okay. All right, thank you so much. All right. I'm wondering, I'm like, yo, why is the attendance fluctuating so hard? I'm like, I got like 10 people, then I got like 0 people. I'm wondering why the fuck this shit, it's tough because I have one of those Bluetooth mics, and with the Bluetooth mics, I can't have the Bluetooth mic and the Bluetooth headphones at the same time. So I can't hear myself speak while I'm speaking to you guys. So I have to rely on the kindness of strangers. Thank you so much, Kayla. I appreciate that. You're the best. I'm going to try and place this somewhere even higher. I'm sure you guys can hear me because this thing picks up pretty well. But I want to make it so I can really see the microphone and see the light so I don't fuck up anymore. So you guys heard literally nothing of what I said. That is, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it, man. Well, all I was saying was, what's up to you guys? I was talking about the subway and everything and about how, like, people shit on the New York City subway, man. They shit on it, but it's like the best thing in the fucking world, It's what allowed me to have the dopest time in this city. When you're a kid, you come out here. I moved out here when I was 18. I'm 33 now. And, being able to ride the subway, opens up a fucking world for you when it comes to traveling in any city. That's why I wish there was a lot more, happening in other cities as far as like mass transit and shit. You feel me? Like, I know you guys have seen a lot of those stories about like the lady who got like burned alive and all that type of stuff. And I know that's like a very huge story, but just know that's like a once a century kind of story. Okay. You guys are safe. Come out to New York. It's safe. I mean, don't go to like, East New York, but other than that, you're like good. Even East New York isn't bad. Like, New York has gotten so much nicer since when I moved here. I remember, and I come from the suburbs and shit, so I remember moving to Flatbush, Brooklyn, and hearing gunshots every day. Uh, you go out to the deli to get a sandwich or something like that, and there's a body with a white sheet over it. I remember that all the time, and I'm somebody who doesn't come from that environment, so that type of shit is burned into my mind. You know what I mean? But I feel like New York has really changed since all of that. It's a lot safer now. I mean, the pandemic definitely made things a little bit more wild, but it's kind of because of the mentally ill situation. People don't really know that once the pandemic happened, a lot of these mental hospitals released a lot of mentally ill people. Because, same with like prisons. Like if somebody had like a small sentence or only a couple more months or something on their shit, they would be released because the pandemic, nobody wanted to get sick. The main problem though with the mentally ill, let me check if this, okay, it's still on. That's it. Now I have like a complex about it. The main problem with the mentally ill though is that, once they were released, they were never acquired again. So now you have all these people just all over the place, just wilding, and it's not out of desperation. It's these people are actually, some of them don't even know where they are. You know what I mean? So my heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. Yeah, man. If you guys don't know, we are in Long Island City, Queens. Queens is kind of the place I've been calling home recently. One of the dopest areas in New York City. I will tell you right now, Queens is amazing. If you guys ever come out to New York, if you're trying to live in New York, I'm going to tell you, if you're somebody above 27 and you're trying to live in New York, move to Queens. Move to Queens. It's chill. People still party. The food is amazing, but it's a little quieter than like Brooklyn and like Bushwick. You feel me? So you get to have like a real adult life while still getting to party and have fun. You know, like right now we're crossing over the bridge. It's cold as fuck out here too, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Uh, I was supposed to bring my hat, but I fucking lost it. I'm kind of salty about that shit. I don't know. I lose shit all the time. I don't know if you guys are like that. I constantly lose things. It's like my thing. That's my MO. You know, I constantly losing things to the point where now that I lost my hat, I'm not gonna buy one for like a couple weeks just so I can feel the pain of not having a hat during the winter. So next time when I do buy a hat, I can actually appreciate having it and not just leave it around somewhere. Because that shit was nice too. I got it at like a Filipino street festival, like right around here. That's another thing with Queens, man. There's so many different ethnic groups doing so many different things, bro. You know, there was a Filipino street festival a couple weeks ago that I just like stumbled upon, you know? Just walked by. They're doing all this cool shit. This dude was selling beanies, like really, really cool beanies and stuff. And I bought one to kind of support and show a little love to the community. And I was so happy to have that shit. And I fucking lost it. I can't believe that, man. Can't fucking believe it. Who else fucking loses shit, you know? Is there anybody in the chat that's like that, bro? I can't fucking stand it. It's like, and it's not even like, I guess I am absent-minded, but I like to think that I am very much like self-possessed. Like I'm here, you know what I mean? And then it's like all of a sudden, I'll turn around and something's just gone. It's like, what the fuck happened, man? Look at this too. We got the beautiful Manhattan skyline over here. Another great part of Long Island City and just Queens in general, especially if you live in Long Island City and Astoria, is you get this really beautiful view of Manhattan, you know? And you can kind of take it all in, man, for half the price. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it's cold. We're about to head over to Williamsburg Comedy Club. I don't have a spot. I'm just going to fucking hang out and shit. I've been working too damn much, so I haven't really been able to put myself out there as much. I still got my show at Fear City Comedy Club. If any of you guys are in New York City, January 13th, we're doing a show at Fear City Comedy Club, Top Notch Comedy. That's my weekly show every Monday at Fear City. Good times. Feel free to come hang. You know, we look at this, going over the canal. This shit, man. I always tell people are so cautious about New York, and I'm not saying that there's no reason to be. New York can be kind of fucked up, you know, but at the same time, it's just like beautiful. Just like okay, you guys can see me. Okay, thank you. Yes, such a chord. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like reading text from my mom. This is a real clusterfuck of a live stream. I will say. I thought it was gonna be nice and easy. Did 10 minutes of A material, no microphone. Then I'm doing this shit. My mom's fucking calling me all the time. But it's all good. I keep going. I know I sound out of breath. I need to go to the gym, man. You know? That's my one thing. I used to work at Equinox, so I go to the gym on a constant basis. And once I quit Equinox, I told myself that I would be like doing shit. No, no, I'm not. I'm not in. I'm not in Miami. I'm in New York City. You look at this jacket, bro. There's no way I'm in Miami, bro. Miami would be amazing right now. I wish it was Miami weather, you know. But we're in New York City. I'm in Queens. We're actually crossing over into Brooklyn right now, and we're gonna make a couple stops. This is actually Greenpoint. If you've never been to Brooklyn, there's a lot of diversity in Brooklyn. There's a lot of different things that go on in Brooklyn. Greenpoint, saw you live on my oh, okay. Appreciate you, dog. Thank you to Game Control 21. You know, we're a small crowd, a small but mighty, man. I appreciate the love. I'm trying to do more of these live streams. And I keep telling people, man, like I have a lot of friends that want to do this type of stuff too, but they're kind of nervous about it. I tell them, I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter what the results are. You feel me? It's like, just do the shit. Just do the shit. Like it really does not matter at all. Like I've had live streams where I've had 2 people. I've had live streams where I've had 0. I've had live streams where I've had 50 to 100. You know what I mean? It's all about the consistency of putting yourself out there and kind of just doing what you want to do. It like you got to think about yourself when it comes to like content creation. And I say this like not as somebody who's like super famous, obviously, but just somebody who's done stand-up comedy for years, all that type of stuff. You got to think to yourself, like, if nobody was watching me, would I still be doing this shit? And if the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. I've been doing comedy since I was 18. I'm 33 now. And obviously I expected it to pick up a lot quicker and a lot earlier than it has. And, I've had some good times. I've had some bad times. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, yes, I would love to go on tour with stand-up comedy and make a full living. I mean, I get paid, but like make like a full ass living and not have to have another job. Of course, I would love that. But at the same time, when you're somebody who's like deep in something that you truly love and that you feel, right? You have to make that decision of like, yo, like, regardless of the fame or the recognition, do I still love this? Like, I was having a kind of a time because like I started at 18. And by the time I turned 30, that's 12 fucking years. That's the longest time I've ever done anything in my entire life, right? So I'm looking at it kind of crazy where it's just like, yo, like I went from being the young kid to the guy who people are like, damn, why hasn't he popped off? He's funny, you know? And, I was kind of like really upset about it. And it's just kind of one of those things where you have to like look inside yourself. And that's when I hit that epiphany of just like, yeah, bro, I love this shit. It's like, even if I have to have another job for the rest of my life, I'm still going to be doing stand-up in some capacity. Because it's not really about simply making a living for me. It's about doing what I love. It's the same thing. Like I remember my grandmother, she used to paint, right? She used to paint all the time. And she was a pretty talented painter, I will say. I liked her stuff. But she never sold a fucking painting. She just kind of did it for herself. And I think nowadays we get so used to trying to monetize everything that we do in our lives that it takes away from the joy that you find from doing the thing. Like I used to work with this guy who was a really good dude, really like knowledgeable about like music and shit and all that type of shit. And he really cared about music, especially like hip hop and like producing and everything. And I remember telling him like, yo, you really love this shit. Maybe you should like get into music. And I remember he was just like, oh, well, then I have to get a manager, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, nigga, you're thinking too deep. Just make a track. Like, just do one. What's the worst that could happen is you enjoy it. Not everything is meant to be a hustle. Some things are just meant to be a creative endeavor, And so I just want to tell everybody out there, man, do what you do. Enjoy your life, bro. It's not that serious. Just because you do some shit that the average person, um, oh, okay. So just because you do some shit, where, that something that the average person kind of would get nervous about, like comedy or music, doesn't mean that it has to pay off, bro. Just enjoy yourself, man. And like I said, we'll get to the Drake thing in a minute. There's a couple good things happening, man, in these next couple months and shit. Shout out to Max B. Max B is going to be coming home around November, which I know is like 10 months from now. But still, for a guy who was sentenced 20 years in prison, 25 actually, originally 75 for like kidnapping and armed robbery, 10 months is nothing. He can eat 10 second, So shout out to Max B, man, because I was never a big French Montana fan, but someone like Max B, he always had the vibes. I always thought he was so much more talented than French. And I'm not even hating on French, but it's just I always felt his stuff a little bit more, Same with Stack Bundles, and I'm saying all this because I was just watching Vlad TV, the ultimate culture vulture. And him and Tony Ayo were talking about that stuff and like talking about that wave of kind of Max B, Stack Bundles, French Montana, and how like big it was at the time. And it's true, man. Like that's why all these rappers, bro, I know if there's any rappers watching this shit, it's like I know you guys get into trouble. I know you guys have lived tough lives and all that shit, but bro, stay out of the bullshit. Just for once, stay out of the bullshit, man. It's not that serious. Like Max B was somebody who had a bigger reach than French Montana. He was somebody that I think people liked more than French Montana. And French Montana was kind of just his friend. Like, not saying French didn't rap and couldn't make songs. He could make songs, he could rap. He's not my favorite, but he does his thing. But the problem is like, Max went to jail. And all those Max B fans are now riding with French Montana now. And that's the thing, man. Like, of course, you have your pride and everything, but you don't want to throw away your entire life off some bullshit that you'll forget a year from now. You know what I mean? The dude who's like going in on you or making fun of you or making you feel like less of a man, you're not going to remember that nigga's name 2 years from now, You got to think about that. Every man has had those issues. It's not just hustlers. You know what I mean? And every man's had something that he has to stand on. It's not anything about that. But you got to learn what to stand on and what not to stand on. And like what's worth it and what's pointless. And a lot of times when what you're doing involves jail, it's fucking pointless, bro. Especially if you really have a path. Like, it's different if you're just a dude living in the hood trying to get by. Still then, just get a regular job. But if for some reason you want to sell drugs, like, that's your own prerogative. But if you're, like, a dude who has a little bit of a bubbling career in hip-hop, man, throw all that shit away. Throw all that shit away, It's not going to make you less authentic, okay? There's too many black men in jail because they wanted to remain authentic. Going to prison does not make you authentic. Being a real person makes you authentic. And it's sad to see how many careers and how many lives have been lost over dumb shit like that. And a lot of these people aren't even dead. They're just not successful because they're in jail, So I want people to think about that type of stuff, man. But there's been a lot of shit happening in hip hop recently. I don't know if you guys heard this a couple weeks ago. Meg Thee Stallion actually hit Tory Lanez with a restraining order, which is a little nuts. I'm like, damn, how do you I hit a nigga with a restraining order and he's in jail. You know what I mean? But that being said, there's a lot of ways to harass people. So I get it. I get it. But that's one of those things, though, where I don't know all the details, but I also think that even if he is doing something, I'm not saying that he's not, telling people to harass her. He probably is, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. He seems like a petty dude. But I also feel like Meg is probably upset about how, even though he's in jail, his vibe out here still remains. You feel me? Like, I think when Tory was going through that whole court case thing, that really was meant to be a death sentence, career wise. Like, because I remember watching that whole thing. Like, obviously, I don't think there were any like cameras or anything in there because you can't have cameras in the U.S. courtrooms. But I was watching the play-by-play on like academics and all these different things, kind of watching these things play out. And it was entertaining. And it was really just like, yo, Tory's career is on the line. 10 years is, a huge amount of time, but he swears he's innocent. So it's like, he's not taking no pleas. He's going straight for it, blah, blah, blah. And he lost, which was a surprise, at least to me. And I'm not even saying that based off like guilt, but saying that based off of how murky the story was between all of them. Between Meg, Tory, Meg's friend, the witnesses, like they changed up their, recount of events like multiple times and all that stuff. So it was a very big surprise when he lost. And then it was like, oh, this dude's never, ever gonna be, big again. And even so, I mean, he wasn't a huge artist, but for someone to be completely independent and have as much pull as he has, his position was huge. I think he has a couple songs with like over 1 billion streams, and he's completely independent. No distribution from anybody else, no nothing. Like there's a lot of different rappers out there and just musicians in general that flaunt their money, flaunt their cash, but not really any of them are richer than Tory Lanez, and that just comes from independence. Same thing with Russ. Like, Russ, he's a great artist and he's completely independent, pushes everything himself. So you have like drill rappers, you're like, oh, fuck Russ. Who the fuck is Russ? But Russ is the guy who has more money than you, bro. Speaking of drill rappers too, fucking, I just saw the wildest shit on Twitter. I think it's wild. Let me tell you, you guys decide what you think. I saw somebody on Twitter say today that Chief Keef is far more influential to hip hop than J. Cole. I think that's crazy to say. What do you guys think? Because I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I think that's the biggest bullshit. It was one of those things too, where it's like, Chief Keef is more influential to hip hop in the drill sector of hip hop. I think that's the one thing. Like, there's so much arguing with hip hop, man. There's so much back and forth that goes with all that shit. And I think it's a lot because, like, people just listen to what they want to listen to. And it's like hip hop for such a long time never had subgenres. So when somebody's listening to their own thing, they think that's the only type of hip hop that exists. They know it's not, but that's the only type of hip hop they want to acknowledge, and especially when it comes to like drill music or honestly the music of younger people, and hip hop has always been like the art of the youth. So it's always been like, oh, get the old guys out of here. The new young niggas is here. Yo, let's do it. Blah, 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 blah. Da, da, da. And it's just, it's not true. I feel like nowadays, I actually kind of think drill music got rid of that. Sure, people like it enough, but drill music kind of ruined that whole like, hey, the young guys are here, it's a new day, because so many of them, it became a spectacle. It became online shit. It became Gen Z TikTok shit. And I don't mean like, bubblegum or nothing like that. I mean like internet antics. It's all about these young kids in the hood who are like trying to floss on each other, and they really know each other. And so they hear one dude makes a song about another person, then they make a song about the other person, then they go shoot, then they go unalive each other. I can't say certain things on the stream. Then they go unalive each other, you know what I mean? And it's like none of them have been in it long enough, and done things consistently enough to cultivate like a fan base that changes the entire genre as a whole. Like, again, like Chief Keef, helped create the subgenre of drill, but I feel like for the most part, it didn't really make waves outside of that. I could be wrong though, because there's a lot of younger people who are gonna be like, "Yo, Phil's bullshitting. Yeah, this nigga's a hater." Da 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 da. But fuck you, okay? All right, I said what I said. But I think like I honestly think too, J. Cole and Drake are actually like the two most influential entities in hip hop right now. Like, because I feel like every person that wants to be like a backpack rapper sounds like J. Cole, and every young rapper who wants to be more mainstream and is a bit more melodic sounds like Drake. So I really do think that the two of them are actually kind of the most influential. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like neither of them is fully original either. I mean, hip hop has gone on for so long that it has so many building blocks that nothing anybody does for the most part is all that original. I mean, even drill music is based off of grime from the UK. So Chicago drill can't really take all the credit for that. So there's nothing new under the sun, and I've always been someone like that too, a big kind of dude who has the opinion that there really is nothing new. So people shouldn't gatekeep as much stuff as they do. But I feel like especially for hip hop, that's like a really main thing. But yeah, I feel like Drake and J. Cole extremely influential as far as their approach to music. And, especially with Drake, there was a lot of different people influencing him. There was Kanye, there was Cudi, there was, Joe Budden. I was saying this on my last video. There's Joe Budden. There was Ja Rule. Ja Rule was kind of one of the first ones to really like sing and rap. Then you have Slum Village, you have Little Brother. Those guys really helped craft his flow. But then he kind of took that and brought it to a different stratosphere. Same thing with J. Cole. I mean, there's a lot of like Kanye there, a little bit of Jay, a lot of Nas, tiny bit of Lupe Fiasco. And while all those things are influential to him, he kind of took his thing to a whole nother level. So I don't know, man. I think that whole like bullshit right now that's going on with hip hop, that's been going on forever, which is just like, fuck this person. This person's the cool guy. It's like, it kind of needs to end. It's like everybody has their little space, no matter what we want to say. Hip hop is just such a massive genre right now in the world. It's literally fucking everywhere. Even if it's not American hip hop, there's hip hop somewhere that's being bumped, or that influenced a different type of music. So to kind of like gatekeep or be like, only this person, like be so monolithic about shit. A rapper's only this. It's like, that's just not true. I don't know, man. I feel like people's opinions, is it just me? Maybe I'm on Twitter too much, but I feel like people's opinions just piss me off. By the way, we're deep in Greenpoint. If you've never been out here, outside of a beautiful Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins. Very exotic, I know. We got Frankel's. Oh shit, we got a Horseplay. I remember this bar. It's called Horseplay. They were closed for the pandemic. They used to have a dope ass show here forever ago. You know, that's the best thing about, you know, Brooklyn and stuff. Like things change over a lot, but there's always some like cool, chill, underground vibes out here, you know, that I fucking love. I heard Kendrick Lamar moved out to New York. I get it. New York's the shit. Thank you for coming through. We appreciate your patronage, brother. You know. But back to Drake. Back to the thing you've all been waiting for. Drake really has made a mistake. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Drake recently just dropped the Fighting Irish Freestyle. And it's kind of this little song. He does that a lot. Like he'll drop little snippets of shit. He's kind of been kind of baiting people with the whole Party Next Door collab album and all that type of shit. So he just dropped this little freestyle. And I will say this. I hope he's watching right now. Drake, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you do that? It's not that the song's not good. I think the song's good. I think it talks about a lot of poignant shit. But the issue is that you lost the battle and then you sued after losing the battle. So now you have to wait, okay? You are no longer a true entity in hip hop. In sales, you are. But as far as respectability and shit, you're absolutely not. And I think this is one of the issues with him, you know, is that he's a workaholic. And I get it. I get it. I'm kind of the same way, you know. I do stand up. It's dark as hell over here. Sorry, I'm walking through the park. McCarran Park, actually. So you guys are going to be able to see my face. Look at that. I look sexy, though. You just see my teeth. My dark ass. But no, he's a workaholic, man. And I get it, you know. I love working a lot, too. And I think, you know, when you do entertainment, like I do stand-up, I fucking love it so much. And, you know, one of the main reasons I love it and why I'm workaholic with comedy in general is because, you know, it's different when you do some sort of entertainment job. Because when you're doing an entertainment job, I almost busted, yo. I almost fucking killed myself over there. You see what I do for you people? I'm out here walking in the night, almost tripping and busting my ass just to give you guys hot rap gossip. What am I doing? But no, the entertainment jobs, man, they're very, very addicting, and it's easy to be a workaholic and that type of stuff. Especially, obviously, if you love it, but it's more also too that like entertainment jobs mix like business and pleasure a lot. You know, like if you're a comedian or if you're a rapper, you can drink while working. You can smoke weed while working. You can even hook up with girls while working. And all of these things are part of the entertainment umbrella and art form. And especially somebody like him, it's like, I have a regular job. He's somebody who's been, you know, an extremely successful rapper for a very, very long time. And I think he's just somebody who enjoys creating songs all the time. And he can't find it in himself to slow down. So he's like, he becomes restless. Like, I think, you know, and I get that because like, if I don't do a show in like 2 weeks, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And so for him, when people are saying like, take off for a year because you lost this battle, a battle that he didn't even think he was going to lose, he's probably losing his mind right now, freaking out, you know, like, yo, what am I doing? Not even freaking out because he lost or anything like that, but just freaking out like they're telling me to stop. They're telling me to stop. I can't stop, you know, entertainers, man, we get very restless. Like, you know, someone like Kendrick Lamar, as far as like demeanor and the way they act, is like an anomaly. Like him and J. Cole are an anomaly in the sense of like they want to, especially him, where it's like he wants to like disappear for like 5 years, hang out with his family for like 5 years, and then go back out and drop something. Whereas like most people in any sort of entertainment, that's just not how they do. They just keep going and going and going until the world tells them to stop or their body tells them to stop. Like not saying Kendrick isn't the shit, but at the same time, uh, like Drake looks at it, I think, more in like an athlete aspect, in the sense of like he just keeps going until his knees give out. And this beef was him tearing his ACL, but he's still trying to like get off the bench. And it's like, no, bro, you got to heal. You're going to have to wait till spring training. Like Drake should not be dropping until after the Super Bowl. You feel me? Like that's the real shit. You should be dropping until like after the Super Bowl, and not even like right after the Super Bowl. You shouldn't be dropping until like May or June. Doing anything sooner than that is just stupid as fuck. Like you're gonna waste your time. Nobody wants to hear you right now, and I want to hear them, but it's like it just doesn't. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. People are still enjoying shitting on them, And when you enjoy shitting on a person, especially somebody as famous as Drake, and getting traction off of your opinions on him, because that's a big thing too. I mean, what do you think is live stream? I can mention his name, and there's going to be at least 20, 30 people in the chat saying different shit, just because I dropped his name, So these things, like when you have that much of an effect on people, they're all waiting for you to fail. And when it's cool to hate on you, they're going to hate on you extra hard to get extra attention. That's just what it is. But it's just like, it's funny. Like, I think he's just not used to taking like a real L. Like Pusha T was an L, but it was more of like a bullshit L. I'm not going to lie. Like, Story of Adidon is a classic diss track. But at the same time, it was more just like spilling tea. Like that's the worst thing about, I think, Drake when it comes to like battling and shit, is that a lot of his stuff is just about spilling information about him. It's less about like, hey, you're not a good rapper. You know what I mean? Like other people's beefs is more just like, hey, you're not a good rapper. You're fucking corny. And I'm not saying Kendrick didn't do that, but in order to do that and have it succeed, he had to make like Euphoria and like Meet the Grams and be like, you're a colonizer, and I think some shady things are going over at the OVO house and everything. And fuck with that. He had to bring up, kind of P. Diddy, esque stuff in order for all the other things to really hit, And I think that's a tough thing. I think he's just not used to, really taking an L this big, and he doesn't really know what's going to happen. But it's one of those things where it's like, he's just so famous. Like hip hop is just so different now. It was different when the labels controlled every single fucking thing. That's why like Drake has had the longest run that, in hip hop ever. Is yes, he's good, sure, but it's deeper than that. It's that in the 2000s, in the 90s, what they would do is like a rapper would just turn like 27 and then they'd be like, yeah, he's too old. Let's get rid of him. Let's shelve all his albums and let's put some like new guy in and kind of push them as much as possible. Now, because of streaming and playlisting and all that type of stuff, it kind of changes. I'm not saying that they can't highlight people that they want to highlight. They totally can. I mean, we've seen that a bunch of times. But People have their own followings because of Instagram, because live streaming, hey, and shit like that. So it kind of makes it a little harder for someone to disappear if they have a foundation of a fan base, you know? So it's like, that's why I think he should kind of chill out, because it's just like, dude, you're still Drake. Like, that's why he shouldn't have sued. You know, I've talked about this, I think, in the last like 3 videos, and I still am going to talk about this. Suing was the most ridiculous thing I think he ever could have done in his entire fucking life. You know, he already has to deal with credibility issues and shit, and like people thinking they're cool for not liking him. It's always kind of been like that. You know, then they call him like white boy, and then there's a whole sect of people who don't like him because he's Jewish and all that type of stuff. And it's like, dude, like all you did was lose a fucking battle. You know, all you did was lose a battle. And yeah, it's like, I know he's calling you this and that, but it's like, who cares? People call crazy things in battles. It doesn't matter. Okay? Like, yes, people are going to joke about it. Yes, it's going to be on fucking the Super Bowl, but you're the one who stepped outside and decided to go with him. You're the one who told him to, in Tupac's voice, to make fun of that subject. That's on you. That's on you. And that, what up? And now you got to take your lumps, you know? Dude, I love doing this live stream shit because even if you don't get a lot of viewers on the stream, people end up like waving in the background and shit, trying to hit you, talk to you and everything. It's fucking cool. You know, I just made it at Greenpoint. We're in Williamsburg right now, walking through Brooklyn. We're almost at Williamsburg Comedy Club. And you know what? It is cold out tonight, but it's not so bad. Not so bad. But yeah, man, Drake, he got rid of all his credibility, I think, when he sued. And that's really why he has to wait so long. You know, I really think when it comes to that type of stuff, he really ruined his redemption arc. You know what I mean? Because everybody loses, and he's been on top for 15 years, bro. 15 years. It's bound to happen sometime. And if it had to happen to you from the other guy that people think is the best, it's almost an honor. I know it sounds weird and stuff, and I wouldn't want to be in the position that he is in, especially when he lost the beef and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, bro, the only person who could defeat you was fucking Kendrick Lamar. Like, really defeat you, like, really hurt you. It was Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? The other guy had to say that you had a baby to make people care. You know what I mean? Like, that is a loss. I'm not saying that's not a loss. And obviously, the blackface picture is a huge fucking loss. But that was such in retrospect, it's such a small thing compared to what went down with him and Kendrick. You know? And I don't know, just to sue over that, it's like, dude, like, you wrecked your credibility. Because really what happened is like, that's all right, if he loses, he loses. But as a Drake fan and a Kendrick fan, as a Drake fan, I'm like, yo, he lost, but he lost to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is fucking Kendrick Lamar. That's still respectable. And then you're also looking at it like, yo, like Kendrick Lamar has dissed mad people. People don't like to admit it, but he subtly disses as many people as Drake, maybe if not more. And no one's ever said anything about it. Drake is the only one who's ever stepped outside. And even though he got fucking his ass beat, which he did, he got dog walked. Even if he got dog walked, you still have respect for it. Like, listen, I didn't grow up in the hood, but I will say, like, growing up, you know, I was always taught that if somebody's disrespecting you in like a real way and you step up to them, even if you get your ass beat, it's respected. You know, usually even by that person who beat your ass. It's just like, yo, okay, shit, he's not somebody who's just going to take everything lightly, you know? So with the loss with Drake, it's like, all right, fine. Like, damn, that sucks, nigga. I don't want to be that nigga right now. But, all right, like, you know, things happen. But when he sued, he illegitimized all of that. And he illegitimized himself as a rapper. was a crazy thing to do. And I don't even necessarily disagree with him suing. I just disagree with him suing at the time that he did it. You feel me? I feel like, honestly, he could have waited a little. Like, statute of limitations for civil suits in California is like 3-4 years, bro. If he would have given it like 2, maybe even honestly 1 or even 2 years, and then sued UMG, it'd be fine. It'd be completely fine because he would have taken his lumps, and it would have just been like, all right, whatever. You know, Drake suing UMG. You know, not really Kendrick. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, he's suing because they colluded against him. You know, but it's not because like he lost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, he lost because or he's suing them because it's like they're paying for bots. They should have let the two of them just do a fair one, but they didn't. They jumped him with Kendrick. You know, rather than, oh, he lost and now he's upset and you know what a bitch. Because that's how it is. That's how it is. It's not how it looks. That's how it is. That's what he did. And as a fan, it kind of breaks my heart, bro. That's the one thing I don't like about him is that I feel like when he makes decisions, you know, when it's like musically or any of that shit, he doesn't seem to care about his fans at all. Like the people that like really ride for him and like really love his shit, he just doesn't seem to care. He just does whatever he wants. And I get doing whatever you want. I mean, it's your life, it's your career, you've earned it. But at the same time, it's like, nigga, do you know how hard it is to defend you now? The fuck is your problem? You know? So then you want to drop some shit about the beef. It's like, all right, cool. But it's falling on deaf ears. You know? And the shit was hot too. I'm not even saying I don't like it. It sounds good. But the timing of it and everything is just kind of like, you know, a little pointless. You know, y'all here looking stupid. And, you know, but I'm still bumping it a little. I think it's just going to take him a long time and a lot longer than he thinks to get back where he, you know. But I do think he'll be back to where he was. Definitely. Maybe him and Kendrick will have that kind of like fluctuating 1-2, 1-2. Or Kendrick will stay on top and he'll just be under. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But either way, I can't wait to see it because I fuck with both of them. I fuck with the music. I'm just here for the hip hop, man. But anyway, we're at Old Man Hustle, aka Williamsburg Comedy Club, and I'm gonna head in, have a beer, hang out with some comics. I'll see you guys later. Peace.